Hi, my name is Alexis Jenkins, and I am presenting my project, Impact of Background Music on Focus and Mindfulness. So, I am a senior for the BAS Computer Technology and Software Development program at Valencia College, and I'm excited to present my final project. I've titled the application Mind Tune App. All right. So this screen is showing you basically what the MindTune app is, which is a productivity application designed to help users track their focus levels and mindfulness under different conditions, such as no music, classical music, and ambient music. Of course, you can modify these and add more conditions as well. But the point is that it allows users to collect and analyze their data on their productivity during study and work sessions, which ultimately helps them identify what works best for them. So the way is straightforward. Users can add, modify, delete, and view their session data. This data includes things like focus duration, number of distractions, mindfulness levels, conditions, and tasks. The app uses Java for its core functionality, Firebase for cloud storage, and SQLite for local storage. I also use Java Swing to create the graphical user interface, which I thought would give users an easier way to interact with their data. For this project, I use several languages and tools. So, like I mentioned before, I use Java as the core language for the app's logic, which is meant to handle the user interface and the CRUD operations. I also used Firebase, which is a platform for cloud based storage, which helps users access their data from anywhere. I decided to use SQLite because it will allow local storage data, which gives users access for offline capabilities. I use Java Swing because it helped me create the graphical user interface, which again, I used it because I thought it would be easier for the users to input and view their data. And then finally, I used IntelliJ, which is an integrated development environment, otherwise known as IDE, that I use to write, test, and debug my project. So each of these tools played a big role in ensuring that the MindTune app met its intended functionality, from data management to an intuitive interface. So, when I started, my plan was to use Firebase exclusively for cloud storage. But as I started developing the project, I realized that having it being able to be accessible on offline would also be beneficial for users. So that's why I decided to include SQLite. So that way, the project as a whole could be a lot more flexible. I also expanded on the project to include a more robust graphical interface using Java Swing because I thought that it would be a lot easier for all users to use. I was trying to be as inclusive as possible. I felt like with Java Swing, it transformed the app from just viewing data to a actual application that people can practically use for their own time. So after completing the project, I found data synchronization between Firebase and SQLite that worked effectively. And I created these charts over here as a way to visually show that the project delivered and intended flexibility and management. I gained valuable experience managing both local and cloud data integration. For the data collected through MindTune app, I did notice some trends. For example, users seem to perform better with classical music compared to no music. I thought that the takeaway I got from that was that it showed how our environment can significantly impact focus and productivity. As for the technical challenges I faced, I definitely faced technical challenges along the way. I would say the biggest one was figuring out how to synchronize data between Firebase and SQLite. I didn't know how to do that, so this required me to ensure that both databases remain consistent. This took a lot of effort with debugging and testing, but I learned a lot. Another challenge I faced was building an effective user interface with Java Swing. This required me to do some research and also improve its usability, especially for users who might not be tech savvy. I realized this because when I had my mom test it out, she had no idea what's going on. My mom, she's 58 years old. So that had me think about how users would interact with my application, which is again why I created the graphical user interface. So that way it would be a lot easier no matter your tech savviness level. Additionally, managing another technical challenge I faced was managing the connections with Firebase. That presented challenges at times, especially in terms of ensuring stability. So next, we're going to talk about our successes and disappointments. So I think one of my biggest successes in this project was building a full CRUD application that combined both local and cloud storage. I haven't done that before, so that was interesting to learn. It taught me a lot about flexibility, not only from a back end perspective, but also front end as well. It became a factor when it came to the application design. On the other hand, I think one of the bigger disappointments was that I couldn't fully visualize the experience I thought I wanted to create with time constraints. I think I struggled with implementing real time synchronization between Firebase and SQL. It became a lot more complex than I expected. And so I spent a lot more time learning all about that, which prevented me from really expanding more on the interface and upping the quality on the CURD. So, if I could do it over, I would use Java FX instead of Java Swing. I think Java Swing is great, but I think Java FX provides a more modern and visually appealing interface. I would also put more time automating the synchronization between Firebase and SQLite, so that way it would be more consistent and it would reduce the manual work required that I put into developing the application. Lastly, I would spend more time and resources on the UI UX design to create a more smoother experience. I think that with developing this application, I was focused so much on usability that when it came time to the interface, it was kind of in the back of my mind. And so, yeah, I also just want to say thank you for your time and attention. This project has been a huge learning experience. It's been incredible. I've learned a lot. I think with this project, I learned a lot in terms of back end. I would say most of the other classes it was back end as well, but this felt more practical. I was building something by myself that I haven't really done all that often. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed learning about my application, the MindTune app. And if you have any questions you would like to discuss, don't hesitate to reach out. And I left this final quote because I really loved the fact that I made this project about music because I love music so much. So I left it with a quote by Plato: "Music is the movement of sound to reach the soul for education of its virtue." And with that, I want to say, hope you have a great day or night to whoever's viewing this. Goodbye.